Well, hey, everybody, Captain Dave Schneider, It's a Guide's Life, coming to you from St. Cloud, Florida. I'm at my son's house. Got off the lake today about 2:30, 2:45. Cut it a little bit short today just because it was very cold. So we got out a little bit late and then got off a little early. But my fellas did a nice job. I believe we caught 9 today, all artificials. I will tell you that the shiner bite was good today. I talked to a couple of guides and said they caught them really good. So that's good news. I've got a couple of shiner trips coming up this week, as a matter of fact. I think my next 3 trips are shiner trips. But, like I said yesterday, we caught them really good yesterday, 27, 28 fish, nothing big, but we caught them good. And that was down in South Bay. What I really want to talk to you about today, and this is, all right. The thing is, every once in a while in fishing, as I grew up and I was learning about fishing, I would oftentimes come into, don't hurt yourself. I would oftentimes come into information and be like, yeah, okay, but I don't think the bass have read that because it just doesn't seem to work for me or. Well, I had a moment today that was pretty enlightening. I had a moment where the fish kind of read the rule book, and I'll be very honest with you, it was something I picked up on watching another boat off in the distance. It was actually another guide. And we had struggled, the cold. I mean, it was 60, the water was 61 degrees. It was 67, 68 yesterday. So, I mean, it was 58 degrees at noon today. And the wind was howling. And we drove down and put in South Bay, went up Boy Scout Cut. And I had 3 or 4 spots out there that I had fished around in before. Eventually I wound up back where we had fished yesterday, and we caught a fish there. Then I decided to get in and do some flipping, and the flipping bite just didn't turn up. It didn't materialize. I ran back up towards Boy Scout Cut, and I decided I wanted to, with the fishermen that I was with, flipping wasn't necessarily within their comfort zone, so to speak. And so decided to try and fish some hydrilla. And there's some little bays in Boy Scout Cut where there's hydrilla scattered out. And I know that once the spawn starts, these are good spots. And they're big community holes. I mean, there was one other boat in there today. There were 15 boats in this area yesterday. But bottom line was, we got in, and we were fishing like we had the day before. We were fishing a Senko, and we were fishing it per my instruction, fairly slow, and we got a couple of bites. But I actually noticed Steve Daniel. Steve is a guy that works out on Lake Okeechobee, former FLW champion and good fisherman, well known in the area. But I saw Steve and his group. At least I'm 99% sure it was Steve. If it wasn't Steve, my apologies. But it was clear to me that they were really aggressively working a bait, and all of a sudden I had this. The lights came on. It's like, all right, Dave. What do guys do, like Kevin Van Dam and some of these power fishermen, when things get real tough, they get super aggressive. When super slow doesn't work, they go super aggressive. And do you know that we started catching fish that way? As cold as it was and as tough as the bite was, we started fast twitching our flukes, and we wound up catching 7, 8 more fish in a 40 minute period. So it was kind of a cool deal, and I want to share that with you because, every once in a while these things kind of happen. And you know what? To be honest, it's not in my forte. It's just not in my go-to of things to do, because I've done it before, and it hasn't seemed to necessarily work. But boy, it worked today. And so that's my tip, man. My tip is, when slow doesn't work, don't be afraid to try and go a little fast. The thing is, if fast isn't working, don't keep doing that either. The lesson I learned, you got to keep adjusting. You got to keep changing. Listen, I didn't sit in the third quarter of any football game where where we were getting our hind ends handed to us, where we weren't scrambling and making adjustments. We weren't going to just sit in something and let them just beat us. And that's kind of the way fishing is. You can't just sit there doing the same thing over and over and over again and not having success. Part of it is in here because you think, well, maybe I'm not around fish. But that wasn't our problem today. I knew we were around fish. The water's clean. We had been catching them like crazy. Those fish didn't go anywhere. So it it kind of helped in the decision making, because I'm like, well, I know there's fish here, and we made that adjustment, and bless God, it worked. Hats off rather to Ron and Scott. Good job, guys. They battled through some very tough conditions. You know, it wasn't the trip that I know that Ron was hoping for. He and I had talked a lot before they came down. And I do have some fishing for you. I'm going to put that up. Probably I'm going to be here for a day or so. And when I get home, I'll get it on the Big Mac here and get it back up again. But I came up to see my grandson and help my son with a couple of little errand things. He's doing some video editing and for his own little company that he's got going. And anyway, so I came up to help him with that. Captain Dave Schneider, It's a Guide's Life. Guys, I hope you appreciate the tip. When you get into tough cold front conditions and you're slowing down and it's just not working, hey, if you feel comfortable that you're in the fish, you know, don't be afraid to go a little bit aggressive. One of the things I really know made a difference was the hydrilla. The fish, in a cold front, the fish will just bury down in the hydrilla, where if there's no hydrilla, they'll bury up under things. Well, we weren't getting the up under stuff, but when we got into an area where there was some hydrilla, they were sitting in that hydrilla, and you could work them out of it. Hey, man. At the end of the day, I just want my guests to catch fish. And we did. So, Captain Dave Schneider, It's a Guide's Life. Guys, do me a favor, like the video, share the video. You got friends. I know you do, man. The fire's burning. Guys, it's growing every day. I'm almost to 2,500 subs. And I owe it all to you guys. Captain Dave Schneider, It's a Guide's Life. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.